So we're going to draw a basic time series chart here, comparing Jim's weight over the course of the year. So you just plot it like you would any normal scatter graph. So January is 70. February is 82. Now yours will be a much larger and more accurate graph in your exam. March 80. And you just carry on going and so on. Eventually your graph will look like this, and you can join everything up with straight lines. Sometimes it's necessary to do what's called a moving average. It might be for reasons because of seasonal changes, it might be because of weekly changes. There's a good example coming up after this one. Firstly, we're just going to have a look at exactly how we calculate a moving average. So we're going to have a go at a 2-point moving average. Now a 2-point moving average looks at two sets of data at once. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw little boxes under 2 months, go across one, draw another 2 months, across one, draw another 2 months. And by that, this is what I mean. Okay, so you can see I've outlined little answer boxes where I'm going to put my answer. So this is going to be the average for these 2 months. Then I've moved along just 1 month. I'm not moving along to the next 2 months. I'm just moving along 1 month and finding out the average for these 2 months. Then I'm moving along 1 month and finding the average for these 2 months, and then the same. And to find the average, we're going to find the mean. So let's have a go at that. So for the first 2-point moving average, I'm going to be choosing these numbers. So it's 70 plus 82. So it's add them together, divide by how many there are. That's what the mean is. So 70 plus 82 divided by 2. On my calculator, 70 plus 82. Now if you don't use the fraction button, that's fine. Make sure you press equals before you divide by 2, otherwise it will do bid maths and your calculator will get it wrong. So 70 plus 82 equals divided by 2, and I get 76. The next one is going to be these two here. So 82 plus 80. And again, there's two numbers, so divide by 2. Add them together, divide by how many there are. 82 plus 80 divided by 2. And we get 81. The next one. So we've got 80 at 85. And divide by 2 again, because there's two numbers there. 80 at 85 divided by 2, and we get 82.5. And then the last one that I'm going to do, so for this box here, 85 plus 95. Which is 90. Okay, so I found 4 2-point moving averages. This is the first 2-point moving average, the second 2-point moving average, the third, and the fourth. I could keep going until I get to the end of the table, and then I can plot them on a graph, and this is what it would look like. Or if I remove the original time series graph, it looks like this. So I wanted to make it really clear why we might need moving averages. So I've got this data here, and it's actually pandemic data, and it's the number of daily cases of a pandemic. You might be familiar with this data, and you might be familiar with, if I plot this on a graph, this is what it looks like. So this graph, you can see it has lots of peaks, lots of troughs. Now, obviously I'm only going to look at a certain part of the data because this data does go on forever. For example, if I show you, this data can keep going, but just to demonstrate this, I'm just going to look at the first few sets of data. So, at the moment, like I said, there's lots of peaks, there's lots of dips. Now, we've been told in the news that these dips are because they're recordings on weekends, and there's less people working on weekends, and the recordings aren't as efficient. So that's why the recordings drop, the data drops. So obviously, we don't want to assume that a drop in the data means, oh, yep, the cases are going down loads. We need to get an average, and that's why we get a moving average. And the one they've used in the news is a 7-day moving average. So that's what I'm going to do here. So in the last example, we did a 2-point moving average. So we looked at 2 points at a time. Now we're going to look at 7 points at a time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to keep moving along for every 7. Okay, so the first 7-point moving average is going to be these numbers added together. Remember, we're finding the mean. So you add these together and then divide by how many there are. So that would be 1035 plus 665 plus 967 plus 1427 plus 1452 plus 2129 plus 2890. And then we're going to divide by 7 because there's 7 numbers. And the answer for that, after putting it on my calculator, is 1509.3. So now let's do the same for the next 7 points. So I don't go for the next 7 after the 7 that I've just done. All I do is move 1 along. So I'm going for the 665 plus 967 plus 1427 plus 152 plus 219 plus 2890 plus 256. So anything that comes under this green box, adding them all together, dividing by how many there are. And the answer for that comes out as 1726.6. And then I do it for the next 7. So we're going to have 967, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, add them all together, divide by how many there are again. And my answer for this one is 1989. Okay, so I found the first 3 7-point moving averages. I'm not going to find the rest because I'd be here forever. But if I did find the rest and then I was to plot them on a graph, this is what it would look like. So you can see that this orange line is a much smoother curve, much less peaks and dips. So it's cancelled out that inaccuracy of that weekend data. So it gives us a clearer picture of what's going on.